you mentioned Bugarit. Bugarit lost it in the game.
Yeah.
He was complaining with the referee, and actually so were Leinster for a lot of it, and actually in so were Munster for parts of it. And the referees have now gone bit of a throwback to the old days where there was the only person who can really talk to you and has to talk to you in a respectful manner is the captain, which I think is the right way it should be. You can't have people looking for cards. You can't have people roaring and shouting. You can't have players running up to the referee. And the referee, I actually think, nearly lost it at the end of the game himself because neither of the teams seemed to do it. So I think the managements of the teams have to make certain that this is solved now. The players have to quieten down an awful lot at the moment because the referees are, and I think it went against La Rochelle because Bugarit in particular absolutely lost it, couldn't calm down, refused to accept what the referee was saying. And you watched his body language for 10 minutes after that period of time. He gave away a couple of penalties and dropped the ball on the ground and had lost it. But so that's something that has to be rectified again, because if the refs do push that in the future, you don't want to be marched 10 yards and lose to somebody kicking the ball over. That's for certain.
Do you think, though, the coaching tickets privately might think, well, on the rare occasion where that might happen, I'm willing to accept that because in the main, all of us mouthing a bit at the referee, putting pressure on the referee, that's going to work out for us generally. And so let's just do that, you know?
I'm hoping the referees back it up, because I've noticed that over the last 2 or 3 weekends in particular, it's become far more vocal from the referee side that this is what they're looking for. So if that's part of what the game is looking at, the coaches have to rectify that.
Yeah.
You know, they have to be able to say it's not worth it for us.
Yeah, fair enough. I suppose the glaring example of that, Fiona, is Matthew Carley turning around to James Ryan and saying, I'm not talking to you anymore. Garry, I will work with you. Your sense of the Carley, Ryan, Ringrose love triangle, please.
The best part was when he started asking Ringrose about the scrum. I think that's when they really looked like their things were getting a bit confused. He was like, oh, I don't know. But
if only there was a co-captain in the scrum that we could talk to, Matthew.
Look, I think it was the correct decision to make. I coached as well for a year and I had co-captains, and one of my co-captains is quite mouthy. It can work out, it cannot work out for yourself, but having that go-to is excellent. And the referee is correct. If he feels like he's not being spoken to correctly, I think it's a good decision, and to have the option there of Ringrose to only deal with him. And to be fair to Ryan, I think he left it after that, and that's something he'll have to learn, because we talk about future captains for Ireland in particular, and he's someone that would definitely spring into mind. But if you're kind of getting on the wrong side of the referee in your language in particular and your reactions, I think that's something you definitely have to look at going forward, because as Keith said, it's going to be clamped down, and hopefully we'll see it backed up. But I'd have no issue whatsoever with a referee marching mine 50 metres up a pitch if they're constantly out back. It's just not part of the game. Yes, you can ask a couple of questions, but I saw the start of that game. James Ryan, it was constant. He was in his ear at every single breakdown. Okay. That's exceptionally frustrating.